with other people in tomato and pumpkin, waste. Not the waste, actually is another kind of byproducts. And we try to feed the chickens. And actually the result is very good at the moment. Chad, is that right? And
yes.
At the moment, why is this kind of two things is very good for chicken? Is because the color of the eggs seems improve a lot. Okay, because tomato and pumpkin can improve this kind of color. At the moment, in the international market, they usually using the synthetic this kind of leptin, but in China they are selling this kind of nature this kind of carotene-like thing, chemical compounds, which is produced by the chili byproducts. But now we are trying to using tomato and also pumpkin. The primary result seems okay. And the most exciting thing is because we using a very, very, very simple feed formulation. But interesting enough, the egg production is very high at the moment. It's already 85. Chad, is that all right? My goodness.
Yes.
At the moment, you have 85% of egg production. Is that right?
Yes.
So I'm really surprised. So say we are using very simple corn, soybean, methionine, and mineral or vitamin, these kind of things, and they can reach this kind of higher standard of the egg production. Okay, I'm really surprised about this. So today we met these people, agronomy people in outside the campus. It's not inside the campus, outside the campus. I'm glad I went to this kind of meeting because they invited us to eat the chocolate because they produce this chocolate. This kind of chocolate is high quality chocolate. Chocolate company in Neipu now at the moment it becomes we win the international prize from the whole world competition. Okay, this is an interesting part. Okay, now my term is finished, so I better to go back to. Oh, sorry, I better to go back to my slide. 可以分享。sorry， 按错了。糟糕，错了。
Sorry.
Các cô
可以看到吗？
刚刚有，可是现在没有了。
现在没有啊？
对，
糟糕。
现在看很多那个我们的，有了。
有了是吧？
对。
好。Today I'm trying to talking about the nutrition deficiency. This is not a 100% academical subject. It's a one kind of subject which is mixed with practical and academical subject. I collect all this information for last 50 years. So some kind of slide is very old slide, and some slide is very new slide. So recently, we also received some kind of this kind of nutrition deficiency syndrome. Okay, nutrition deficiency syndrome. Of course, you can divide it into the mineral, vitamin, and energy and protein. But the energy and the protein we will not discuss here because that is grows slowly or some kind of very strange syndrome. But the mineral and the vitamin we can discuss here. But the problem is if you try to produce, if you try to produce this kind of syndrome, it's not easy. So that is why many people dare not to say this syndrome is which kind of syndrome, unless you can prove that syndrome is some kind of nutrition deficiency. Otherwise, it's not easy. But before that, we need to understand this table. What? Sorry, escape. We start from the cattle, okay, and you can see this is a vitamin A deficiency from the cow with newborn calves. The calf was born blind and weak. The optical nerve removed from the calf are pinched at the point where they pass through the optical chiasma due to the improper osteogrowth. And this calf cannot see. Okay, I have a colleague in Pig Research Institute. He cannot see in sometimes, and totally blind, and he's really worried about this. So he went to see the human doctor. Human doctor says you are serious vitamin A deficiency. So he eat about 10 times more vitamin A. Of course, you need also combined with vitamin D and something else. Otherwise, vitamin A deficiency, you maybe add too much vitamin A, you will also cause vitamin D deficiency. Okay, so this is a very interesting part. Vitamin A deficiency, in some case, why happen in the cow is because your feed is no green things. Once you have no green things, sometimes will cause vitamin A deficiency. Of course, sometimes still have some green vitamin A in the hay, but unless your hay is a good, very good quality hay. So be careful about the vitamin A deficiency in the cow and in the calves. Okay, so you can see this is the cause, the reason they cause this kind of deficiency. Okay, sometimes even in the testes. Okay, this kind of testes, the sperm production has been damaged. So be careful about this kind of vitamin A deficiency, because this is not only the eyes problem. We usually only say eyes problem, but the vitamin A deficiency also cause reproduction, GI tract, and the reproduction system. Why? Because vitamin A is one of the, not the 100%, but it's one of the major nutrient requirement for the epithelium. And if the epithelium is damaged, and then you will find the GI tract, respiratory tract, and the reproduction tract. Reproduction tract includes the uterine and also includes the testes. Okay, so this is why they can damage the epithelium. And once epithelial damaged, and then you will find they can easily to be hurt by the bacteria outside. And but the sperm, the reproduction organ, they will very easily to cause. They cannot produce very good sperm or good ovary. Okay, this is a very important part. And another one is produced by the calcium deficiency. You can see the ricket. Okay, in dairy calves. It's not only in dairy calf, but many animals can have calcium deficiency. But we have to be very careful. Calcium deficiency is not only due to the calcium deficiency. Sometimes the calcium deficiency is induced by the phosphorate problem. And the phosphorate is not induced by the phosphorate itself. It's induced by the fluorine. And the fluorine causes the phosphorate deficiency. Okay, and the indirect cause the calcium deficiency. So you have to understand all these kind of things is related. Okay, later you will see in some case in the pigs. Okay, and of course ricket sometimes is due to the vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D, why the vitamin D deficiency will cause this kind of ricket problem is because vitamin D is related with parathyroid hormone. And the parathyroid hormone is a key point of the calcium synthesis hormone. So in this case, if you have vitamin D deficiency, you always will cause this kind of big trouble. But don't forget, in some cases, especially the recent years, if you have mycotoxins problem, and then this toxin problem can cause the vitamin D cannot easily to function in the parathyroid gland. Okay, so this is another problem cause ricket. Okay, so ricket is caused by many factors. Ricket in a calf, and you can see sometimes ricket is not necessarily says the whole leg is weak. Sometimes you will see this kind of swollen. Okay, be careful. Most cattle and the sheep, goat here have a little bit swollen. It's not swollen like this way. Okay, so this way is swollen too much, and then they will cause a ricket. And why this kind of things will cause a ricket is because many things: vitamin D, calcium, and phosphorate. And why? Because they will influence on the growth plate. Growth plate is nearby here. Okay, nearby here. This whole area is called the growth plate, and so this will cause this kind of trouble. And of course, if you have phosphorate deficiency, and you also will cause this kind of trouble. And in the chicken, it's very easy to see, but in the cattle, it's not easy to see. Okay, and so they are this area they will have a deficiency on the growth plate, and once they have a deficiency of the growth plate, their growth of the hard bone and will slow down, and then they will cause big problem of the break of the bone of the bone. Another one is a copper deficiency. Okay, copper deficiency usually is along with iron is necessary because this is hemoglobin formation, and so you can see once they have this kind of hemoglobin's problem, and then their whole blood cell will have problem. Okay, and then this is related because copper is also related with enzyme. Okay, so this is very important. No matter which kind of factors, we need to know the copper is seriously related with the iron and also related with the enzyme. Okay, that is why you see this animal is very thin. sometimes we will say thin animal is because parasite, thin animal is because nutrition, protein or energy deficiency. But don't forget, sometimes it's a copper deficiency or iron deficiency or something else. Okay, copper, zinc, iron. This is a very serious interaction element. Okay, we have to be very careful about this. Copper deficiency can also show sign of the deficiency of the very rough hair. Okay, you can see the hair is very rough coat. Okay, now so this they sometimes even lost the hair, Okay, so if they lost the hair and accompanied with a rough hair, and you will suspect they will have a copper deficiency, and the copper deficiency is also have to be very serious. Think about the copper overdose. Okay, because usually if you provide some kind of pig's diet in the older time, not now. In the older time, you provide too much about the pig's diet. Pig's diet in the older time is too much about the copper. They also will cause this kind of trouble about the copper problem. Did you notice the previous one? This copper is lost hair and the hair have big trouble. And if you provide them copper, they will become so beautiful, so smoothly about their skin. Okay, so this is a very interesting part. And of course, newborn calves shows that if they have a very large thyroid, okay, this is normally we call the goyot. Goyot is usually is due to the iodine. Okay, you can see here. Okay, they have very thick in the neck area. Okay, one time I saw in the sheep in our goat, I found this one, and the veterinarian said it's not due to the iodine deficiency. It's due to some kind of tumor. So we have to be very careful. If they are smoothly surrounding all the neck is like enlarged like this way, so this is maybe due to the thyroid hormone have some trouble. Thyroid hormone trouble usually is due to the iodine deficiency. Okay. And now of course this is you can see the lumen inside of the lumen. They have some kind of trouble, and this kind of trouble is also influence on many problem on the deficiency. Okay. Sorry, I have some kind of technical problem. I will recover very soon. Sorry. Usually we will find this kind of digestive trouble of the calves. One was feed milk only. The other 90% hay. Notice the difference in the lumen development. The development is now believed to be due to the production of volatile fatty acid and not to the bulk. Okay, bulk is means roughage. So this is have a different of the stomach, and this is the same thing on that one. And retidae in pigs. Basically speaking, retidae in the pigs usually is due to the calcium, phosphorus, and the vitamin D. Okay, and also in the sheep, you can see the vitamin E deficiency also always will have this kind of things happen. What is the most important syndrome of the vitamin E deficiency in the lambs? that is a stiff, okay, stiff. And the stiff limbs, they can not easy to move, okay. So this is a stiff of the hand legs, and also have some kind of other trouble with their legs, and sometimes they will collapse, and then they will fall down on the ground, okay. So this is a vitamin. You have to see when they become thinner and also have a stiff problem, have two possibilities. One possibility is they have a stomach ulcer, and once they have a stomach ulcer, they will stop there. They will standing stiffly, okay. But the stomach ulcer also always accompanied with a back edge, okay, the curve of the back, because they are very painful. So here will become a back edge. But this one is cannot see the back edge, and so you can see only they are stiff. They stand there, no movement. So you will suspect that they have vitamin E deficiency. Okay, stiff limb drop in the above manner. You say same thing happen like that last one. Okay, another one is a very, very interesting one. If you saw anyone who have we call the 外八字, is something like 8 in Chinese characters. This is 8. Okay, 8. If their leg is like this way, you will always suspect that they have phosphorus deficiency. Okay, so this is another big trouble we need to understand. We need to understand all this kind of legs problem. Phosphorus deficiency always caused by this kind of things. Sorry. And of course, this is the cardiaco-muscular of this tropical limb, and usually you will find that this is very difficult to distinguish. Usually, maybe will due to the vitamin E deficiency. Okay, sorry, they become vitamin E deficiency. Okay, we have to be very careful about this. Young lamb showing head retraction. In this case, the young non-function rumen feed purified diets. They may be needed for thiamine. Thiamine is vitamin B, B1. Okay, so you can see this kind of syndrome is something like a chicken. Okay, in the native chicken, you always see this kind of things. Of course, if you have serious disease, especially the respiratory disease of the chicken, they always raise their head. And why they raise their head? Because they are difficult to respiratory. Once they difficult respiratory, they raise like this way, so they can easily to get some kind of air to go into their lung. Okay, so this kind of posture, you have to find out is due to the lung shortage of air. Shortage of air sometimes is caused by the vitamin thiamine. Thiamine is a vitamin B1. Yes, vitamin B1. Okay, you have to be careful about this. Why is thiamine? Why is riboflavin? Why is this kind of B group? It's because B group is also related, except the B12. Okay, most of them is related with epithelial health. And once the epithelial is not health, they are easily to get infected by the disease. Okay, COVID-19 happened in last 2 years. We always say we need to have improve our immunity. Everyone said the immunity is a protein. That is not totally true, because protein is just one of the source to become immunity. But if you want the healthy, and you need to have a B group, vitamin E, vitamin A. Okay, this is no doubt about that. We have to be very careful about this kind of nutrient. And if we feed the cobalt adequate diet, and then you will find the lamb will be look healthy. And why? Because cobalt is related with vitamin B12. Okay, if you do not have enough B12, and then you will got the problem. And the cobalt deficiency diet, you can see they will become very thin. Okay, and this deficiency, they will cause the syndrome of resemble of the anemia. Anemia is due to the vitamin B12. Some is due to the deficiency because hemoglobin need iron. But sometimes we always due to the deficiency of the B12. B12 is the most important thing. The one of the most important thing related with the blood, red blood cell. Okay, so we have to be careful about all these kind of things. And the folic acid deficiency lamp, you can see once before the bacterial population of the lumen build up, it's possible to produce a deficiency of the folic acid. Why? Because if you are a luminous nutritionist, you have to notice about this. Because usually if you have a good bacterial development in the lumen or in the three stomach, and then you will find they will produce enough vitamin B group except the B12, okay, and also sometimes except the B6. But usually if you have enough bacteria, and then you will have enough this kind of B group. But unfortunately, if your bacterial population is not developed well, and then you will have a serious problem on the B group's deficiency. The B group's deficiency always cause you a lot of trouble. As I said it before, B group deficiency will cause your GI tract, respiratory, reproduction, and many of the tube inside of the body will cause this kind of trouble. For example, bile, for example, ear. Okay, all this kind of tube will have epicellules. And another one is very, very interesting one. In the pigs and the chicken, you are very difficult to hear about the sulfur deficiency. Okay, and once you have sulfur deficiency, you will find you have a very bad skin, and also have very bad wool. Okay, and why? Because sulfur is one kind of most important things for methionine or for cysteine, and both of them are the major, especially cysteine. They are the major source for the skin, okay, for the hair or for the skin. So this is a very important one, okay. And of course, another one is thyroid. Again, this kind of deficiency usually is due to the iodine deficiency. Okay. This picture I talked in China, middle, not middle, northeast China. When I saw this kind of syndrome, I told my friend, I said, your sheep have serious problem on the mineral deficiency. Okay, you can see all the sheep is leak on the wall, and because they are deficiency of the minerals. And once they deficiency of minerals, they will leak on the wall, try to get the minerals. And my friends, at the beginning, they are not believe me, but later they asked a master degree student to study about all this kind of syndrome. They found that is true. This is also very interesting in our farm. When we are in charge of the farm, we found that if we provide them TMR, and usually the sheep and the cattle will not leak on the salt brick, salt brick, SALT, salt brick. They will not leak on the salt brick. But if they are rich in this kind of minerals, using TMR, because TMR always mixed with enough this kind of salt or mineral. But if you are only provide them grass, and you will find your salt brick will licked by the sheep, goat, or cattle a lot. So the sheep, so this kind of brick will change their shape and totally change the shape in a, usually you can say it's very beautiful shape. Okay, they will change, have a hole, a lot of hole, and a lot of things licked by the sheep, goat, and the cattle. And the next one, sorry. Today I have a lot of problem.没有，我再还回去就好了。糟糕了，唉，今天真是，我知道啦。Sorry. Okay. You 看到吗 ？Okay. The next one is a chicken. Okay. Origin I want to show you is the rats, but the rats is not so important in our livestock production. So I escape the rats and go to the chicken. And can you see if you can understand all this kind of interaction, and then you are easily to understand the nutrition deficiency. Okay, for example, this one, vitamin A is the interaction with vitamin E and vitamin D and B3 and vitamin C. Okay, and also vitamin A is interaction with minerals, sodium, iron, calcium, copper, selenium. Okay, so you can see this kind of interaction, you have to be always remember in your heart. If you find some kind of deficiency, you try to understand why these kind of things will happen. For good example is vitamin D. AD3 is always have a ratio. It's a normal ratio of AD3. Okay, if AD3 is the ratio is not correct, and then you will find that it's deficiency of vitamin A or deficiency of vitamin D. Okay, this is a very important general rule. You can see this one. And if you are shortage of vitamin K, and usually it's not easy to have vitamin K deficiency. But if you have vitamin K deficiency, you will have subcutaneous hemorrhage. Okay, and here is the blood came out. Okay, and this is a normal one. You cannot see the blood came out. So if you are deficient of the vitamin K, and you will cause this kind of trouble. And people say, no, it is impossible to deficiency of vitamin K. But interesting enough, I'm lucky. I made one of the very special case of vitamin K deficiency when I was service in the Pig Research Institute. My friend is a veterinarian, and he cannot find any trouble about why this this animal have a lot of blood spots on after diagnosis, and they have a lot of blood point on his body, and then he tried to find out why, and finally they found if you are feed too much antibiotic, and then the vitamin K will deficient. So be careful about all these kind of things. It's not say impossible. Sometimes it's really possible because you are too much about the vitamin. Once you have too much vitamin, you always also have shortage. You may be shortage of vitamin B group and also vitamin A group or E. But the most exciting one is vitamin K. Okay, so be careful about these things. And if you are shortage of vitamin B1 in the chicken, you will find your chicken is very small in size. Okay, so really be careful about this kind of deficiency. Once you have too much vitamin antibiotic, you also will cause these kind of things because most of the bacteria is killed by the antibiotic. And once the antibiotic kills the bacteria, and then the intestine will deficiency of the vitamin B group, because most of the bacteria can produce a lot of vitamin B group, vitamin E. Okay, vitamin B group is produced by the bacteria, especially during the fermentation. Always remember, fermentation will produce a lot of vitamin B group and except the B12. Okay, and also something like vitamin E. Okay, and also vitamin K. Be careful about this. Vitamin deficiency always have this kind of syndrome. I said it before. In the goats, in the sheep syndrome, their head is up a lot. And why is up a lot? Because they have a GI tract, respiratory tract this problem. And once they have respiratory tract problem, so they need to inspire a lot of air into the lung. And if there are shortage of the air into the lung, and then they will raise their head and try to get some kind of fresh air. Okay, so this is an interesting part. Okay, and another thing is also due to the thiamine deficiency. You can see they raise their head. Okay, and sometimes they have very poor feather. Okay, the feather the deficiency is also related with the skin. Okay, epithelial skin of the chicken. Another thing is when they have this kind of problem, their foot is always curled together. Okay, because they are a little bit uncomfortable. The vitamin B2 riboflavin deficiency, they always have this kind of curved legs. We call the paralysis, curled toe paralysis. Okay, paralysis. And so you can see next time if you see this one, you always will suspect they have a deficiency of the vitamin B2. Okay, remember sometimes this kind of deficiency is also due to the mycotoxin. And why? The mycotoxin is not due to pure mycotoxin. It's due to the mold, M-O-L-D. If the feed is mold, and then the mold usually will consume a lots of the B group. Remember, mold consume B group. Mold consume B group. And once they consume B group, and you will cause a deficiency or like this way. Okay? And I saw this in our native chicken. Okay, once in our farm, you maybe can see later. You can see this chicken, they have this curve. And why? The feed meal company people say that we do not provide you shortage of the vitamin B2. But actually, they have this problem. It's due to the mold of the feeds. And the mold of feeds may be due to the feed company, but most of the case is due to the management. If you do not make your feeder very clean, and you are accumulate a lot of feed in your feeder, and then you will cause this kind of curled toe curled together. Okay, this syndrome is beautiful syndrome of the vitamin B2. Okay, B2 deficiency. And of course, selenium deficiency is not definitely established, but they usually will cause a lot of this one, because they will the lack of the methylene cysteine and vitamin E about their hair becomes abnormal. So some kind of this kind of condition, you have to understand this. This is due to the selenium deficiency. Niacin is also a very important one. Okay, niacin deficiency is related with methylene, related with other metabolism, and once they have related with methylene or these kind of things, and then you will find that they are, if you are shortage about this, then you will shortage about the sulfate amino acid. Sulfate amino acids include the cysteine and also methylene, and then your hair, your feather will become very not very smooth. Okay, this is a very important one. Okay, and another one is sleep tendons. This is easy to remember, but you have to understand, because once you graduate from university, you always will meet all this kind of trouble. For example, whole leg become flat, and once they become flat, this is usually manganese deficiency. Okay, manganese deficiency always causes this kind of syndrome. And another one is a folic acid deficiency. Okay, this deficiency is severe, cause anemia. Okay, and once they have anemia things, they usually will not grow properly. Okay, remember, you have to provide them enough this kind of niacin. Protein deficiency, mycotoxicosis, and usually the biotin deficiency is related with toes, related with pet of the legs. Okay, even for human being. Okay, you can see this one is they have a lot of these kind of things happen in the toes. Okay, and so they are usually is deficiency of this kind of biotin. Okay, you can see here also have this problem. Okay, and then you will find that they may have a deficiency of biotin. This is the case we found in our farm. Okay, you can see their leg is become flat, and I actually sit inside of the farm for 3.5 hours. I cannot find anything, and usually this will tell me, say, you have trouble on the vitamin B group. But I dare not to complain to the company, and then I try to find out why. Okay, I cannot find, because I also dare not to go out from the chicken house, native chicken house. And why I dare not to go out from the native chicken house is because if I go out and the student will say, "What happened, professor?" And I say, "No, I don't know." And they say, "Oh, I know, the professor know nothing." Okay, so that is a really interesting things. So I sit inside and try to find out why I have this kind of thing, because I don't believe they come from the feed. But later I found, because the feed trough, they didn't clean. They always not, several of them have always filled with feeds, and this filled with feeds not clean or replace a new one, and then they will have mold. And once they have mold, there were deficiency of vitamin B group. Okay, once they develop D group, they will have trouble. Did you notice? Even in this kind of situations, water is shortage, and maybe the water is also have mold problem. Okay, you can see this kind of curves. B1 deficiency. Okay, it's beautiful, beautiful. You know, for our research people, we always say beautiful, but for the farmers, they always say it's terrible. Okay, so this is interesting things. You also can see this one, pantothenic fat riboflavin deficiency. Okay, they have several riboflavin deficiency. This one, just like we showed you before. Okay, and another one is like this. Okay, sometimes their toes will curled toe, and sometimes they will have head upside down. Okay, so all this is related with deficiency of the riboflavin, but this deficiency of the vitamin B2 is we need to be careful to explain. Is that due to the feeds only, or due to the management, or due to our we do not have a good management? Okay. In this case, you also can see if they are swollen on the toe, on the 关节. Okay, I cannot spell the English name here. And then you also can see this is a problem of the deficiency. Okay, another one, the last one is pigs. Deficiency of thiamine. Thiamine is a B1. Okay, and you can find they have a rough hair coat and muscular weakness. And muscular weakness, they always lie down, and then the whole leg, front leg will lie like this way. Okay, so this is a very serious things. Okay, so this is we said, sorry, is a thiamine with vitamin B1 deficiency. Okay, so careful about this kind of syndrome, and if they cannot have straight legs, you have to be understand. This is not easy to happen to appear in the farm, but interesting enough, during the last few years, a lot of this kind of case happen. Okay, so be careful about these things. And I will say this one is the most beautiful picture. Okay, and why is the most picture is due to the pantothenic deficiency. Pantothenic deficiency always they will step goose step, Goose, goose step. Goose step just like this. They will bong, 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 bong. Okay, will very stiff back legs, and even sometimes front leg, but the back leg will working like this way, very straight. Okay, so this is a vitamin pantothenic deficiency. And why we have this kind of case? That time happened this kind of deficiency for 3,000 pigs have at the same time have this problem. It's because at that time, about 50 years ago, we do not have premix, so we only have some kind of nutrient or ingredient, but we do not have enough other nutrient things. And this is due to the deficiency of the pantothenic. Pantothenic deficiency, in, for example, the most case in the remote area, they are deficiency of pantothenic, or due to they are shortage of some kind of ingredient. In our case, is shortage of yeast because we are providing them yeast, and unfortunately, the yeast cost is become very high. So the company decided, so say we why not stop using the yeast, and once they stop eating, provide the yeast, and this kind of pantothenic acid deficiency will happen. This is called goose stepping. Okay, goose walking, goose stepping is like this way. On the left hand side, you will find this kind of turkeys. Okay, they are shortage of vitamin A. Okay, and once they are shortage of vitamin A, they are not only bad, their posture is very strange, but also their hair is not a very good one. Okay, and if this kind of things happen in the normal situation, they will also retard the growth of the chicken. Okay. What is this? Can you tell me? Anyone? This examination. What is that? What is this one? Goose stepping. So that is vitamin pantothenic acid deficiency. Okay, pantothenic acid deficiency. So they were working like this one. Okay, so be careful about this. All these kind of things, sorry, can be like this way. And this one is we call the spread legs. Okay, sometimes you also can see it's a good stepping, but we usually will find is a spread leg. Spread leg in many cases is due to the management, too sleepy of the floor, and also some kind of nutrition deficiency. Okay, so if you have any kind of nutrition deficiency, you always have this kind of good stepping. Good stepping is very important one. Okay, if you cannot answer the other question, and then you at least need to answer this kind of question. Okay, and another one is like this: they are working abnormal. So be careful about when you're using this kind of vitamin B group. And also you will find this kind of disease. Okay, and this kind of disease is also good stepping. Okay, they are working not fair, and they are working just locked down to each side. Okay, so they will have this kind of problem. So we have to be careful about this. Artificial insemination and also related with ricket, vitamin D activity of alkaline phosphorus from the kidney, okay, intestine and bone, and also enhance the net absorption of calcium and phosphorus. Okay, so be careful about this. If you saw their hand leg is also spread, okay, in the two hand situation. Beautiful one. This happened about 22 years ago. At that time, we have foot-mouth disease in Taiwan. At the moment, we have no foot-mouth disease. And the foot-mouth disease happened, and then everyone tried to buy the cheaper thing, even the cheap ingredients. And this is the cheap ingredient they buy. And it's no fluorine. It's too much fluorine, okay? Too much fluorine, and the inside of the calcium phosphorate acid. So in this case, you will find they are too much phosphorus, okay? Fluorine inside of the minerals, and the fluorine itself will influence on the phosphorus metabolism. Okay, so in this case, you will find that they have big trouble. Okay, and this kind of big trouble, usually you will see the curved back. It's not here. If curved back here, that is maybe due to the nature, but curved back here, and also the here, because here should have a lot of lean meat, but unfortunately, sometimes they don't care. Once they don't care, and then you will find you will shortage of this kind of phosphorus. And the thing is the same happen in this photo. Okay, they also have this kind of lower place. Okay, it's not necessarily looking smoothly. No way. The same thing happened here. You also can see they are they are, how to call that? They are ham. Okay, have some kind of trouble. Okay, this kind of animal is too low on their position. And did you notice this is a very serious phosphorus deficiency, and so whole legs is lie down on the floor. Okay, so this is an interesting part. Very interesting part is someone else. Okay, it's 2020. And Milton and also Crenshaw, and they found this kind of things. I told them said I have a little bit of doubt about this case because they are think this is due to the minerals deficiency. Okay, but actually it's mineral deficiency. But if you see this kind of things, they must be have something interaction with their minerals, and once they are interaction with their minerals, and then their animal will on the photo they will look like this way. You also can see this kind of vitamin E deficiency. They are become sprayed legs. Okay, spray SPLAY. Spray legs usually also cause the big problem of the loss of the young baby pigs. And why they were lost is because usually if you have lower this kind of vitamin E, and so you will find that your animal will be cannot stand still. Okay, then you will you can see you will doubt a little bit their deficiency of the vitamin. So this is also another kind of B group, B1, and some other mineral or nutrient deficiency related with these kind of things. Can you imagine if you are damaged, you are shortage of the vitamin B2, they also have this kind of syndrome. Okay, two syndrome you need to be considered. The one, they have lost hair. Okay, no matter is here or something happening here, and so this is a B2 deficiency. Okay, and of course this is also the B with vitamin B12 syndrome. Okay, be careful about this. And did you notice this is another pantothenic acid deficiency? Why? Because their leg is not this tail. Okay, tail and the leg, you have to be very careful to notice. 我可不可以要一点水？So you can see if your pigs is stand still, and their hand leg is working like this way. This is called goose stepping. Okay, this is too straight. Once they have too straight, that means they will have a leg problem. Okay, just like the women, people wear the high hip shoes, and the same thing. Their leg is stand very straight, and once they stand very straight, that means this animal will have a big trouble on his foot or legs. Okay, and of course a lot of other things will also be careful. And the rest part is related with the human being and also the horse. Okay, so this is a very interesting one. Did you notice this picture is very important one? Because this kind of feather, this kind of hair is very loose. Okay, usually it's a deficiency of the copper deficiency in the sheep, and then their hair is loose like this way, and then you will notice their deficiency of the copper. The copper deficiency usually is accompanied with iron deficiency, also accompanied with zinc deficiency. I said it before. Okay, so be careful about all this kind of deficiency. And of course, this is a difficult one. Since I was a young scientist, young research people, and the people told me, say, if you have white muscle disease of the heart, and then you will find that this is due to the vitamin E deficiency. Sorry says that. When I was young, I even don't know what is really mean this kind of white muscle disease. Okay, I don't know. I even don't know. I said, is this one the white disease? Sometimes they are a little bit shiny, and you cannot say they are white muscle disease. Okay, and yesterday I met a gentleman sent me at least 5 photos from China, and they said they have some trouble about their meat. And I said, if anything influence on the meat, at least 20 different factors to cause this kind of things. One of them is vitamin E deficiency. Okay, and if you have this kind of vitamin E deficiency, you usually will have a strip of white muscle. Okay, so we call this kind of white muscle disease, or some kind of berry muscle disease. Okay, so be careful about this kind of things. And you sometimes it's also due to the PSS syndrome. PSS syndrome induced the PSE problem. And if you open the heart, showing calcification in the ventricle walls, okay, that means they are becomes the calcium and will implant inside of their heart. This picture is beautiful one, but you are not easy to see this kind of beautiful picture. This is called a stripped white muscle. Okay, this kind of stripped white muscle is beautiful vitamin E deficiency, but be careful. If serious like this one, is already passed away. Okay, but if not serious like this one, and then you are not easy to distinguish. Okay, so you better to see more when you are young. You better to see more about the carcass, all kind of animals. Okay, in different kind of situation, you better to see all this kind of carcass in detail. Okay, so this is a important one. You also can see this is zincers. We call it zincers or vitamin E deficiency, or this kind of white muscle disease. Okay, you can see this kind of white muscle disease. This should be not happen in the pigs, but happen in the pigs. That means they will have some kind of trouble about the animal. Okay, of course, this is the same thing of this one compared to the before one. Okay, sometimes you also can see this kind of zinc deficiency or some other deficiency. Okay, so this is happening in the horse, and the mineral deficiency always happen in many places of the world. Here is a mineral deficiency of the soil in the whole United States, but this is also happening in the China and also happening in many other countries. Especially if your country produce corn or soybean, you have to understand whether your corn soybean have deficiency of the zinc or deficiency of the any kind of selenium or something else. Okay, this is a very important part. Okay, and this is the hemophilus, basophilus. Okay, this is caused by this kind of things. occasionally will have vitamin C deficiency, but I will rather think vitamin C deficiency is not easy to happen for the animals. Okay, so this is another important one. Okay, I finished my presentation, today's presentation. I hope you learn a little bit, not necessarily to learn everything. It's not easy to remember, but try to remember some of them. And your knowledge will accumulate when you become the seniors research people. Okay? Any question, comments, or suggestion? Any comments, question, or suggestion?
Okay, Prof. Hsia.
Yes.
Yes, newcomers asking you. Okay, as I understood from your presentation, that deficiency of most minerals and also vitamins cause a permanent damage on body organs.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think we can recover of that damage except by copper, yeah? We can recover the deficiency of copper.
Mm-hmm.
How about the other?
You mean if copper deficiency, what will happen?
Can
Or
we recover the damage on body organs caused by most mineral and vitamin deficiency?
no, not the most. It's several of them. For example, like a copper deficiency, you have to relate with iron deficiency or zinc deficiency. And once you have copper deficiency, for example, Chou, copper deficiency,
Yeah.
and then you will find they may be related with blood system if they have blood system problem. But if they have a legs problem, and you will very seriously related with zinc problem, because zinc deficiency always cause legs problem related with all sheep, goat, cattle, chicken, and pigs. And if you have a leg problem, always have these kind of things.
Yeah.
Am I answer your question?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Any other question, comments, or suggestion? Eswa?
Thank you, Dr. Shah, for the presentation. The question is, the last time in the last sentence you mentioned that the animal is very rare to find the deficiency of the vitamin C compared with others.
Compare with a human being.
Yes. Then what the really reason for this one, for the vitamin C?
Because the body can synthesize the vitamin C. So they are not easy to shortage about the vitamin C. Also, we consider vitamin C is one kind of anti-oxidation vitamin. But in the animal situation, they are not easy to shortage about this. So usually they will not see this kind of syndrome. Okay. Vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, all this and selenium, all this is related with antioxidation. Okay, but vitamin E is not easy to deficiency because the body can synthesize some part of this kind of vitamin. Any other?
For the moment is
Okay.
For the moment is enough. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Me. Miss not there?
Hello,
Oh.
Professor. Yes.
Any question?
I have some question about the when the so when the chicken got the feed, but the feed had the mold, they will have the abnormal character, right? And how to fix that, like have some medicine or some therapy for helping the chicken. Have you have any idea, Professor?
You mean mold? M-O-L-D.
Yeah, mold.
Okay. Mold, we have to be considered about two things. The first thing is any kind of mold can cause vitamin B group and vitamin E deficiency. Okay, the first one. The second one, any kind of mold will, in most cases, they will have some kind of interaction with mycotoxin. And if they have mycotoxin happen, and then they will cause some kind of legs problem. They will cause the calcium problem, calcium deficiency problem, because I said before, usually the mold will influence on the vitamin D function. And once they influence on the vitamin D's function, and then they will have legs problem. Okay. So in this case, the best way is you provide them something stops the mold. For example, 丙酸钙, calcium 甲乙丙, propinic, calcium propinic acid, okay, propinic, and then you can stop the mold, okay, in the feeds. Otherwise, not easy, okay. And of course, you also have some kind of drug can stop the mold, but most of them is not easy. Okay, so another thing is let the feed dry. Okay, let the feed dry. If the feed contained 12% or less than 12% of the water, moisture, I should not say water, moisture, and then the feed cannot easily to become mold. Okay, once they become mold, you are not easy to get rid of them. Okay, mold is not mycotoxin. Be careful. Mold is not mycotoxin. Okay, another serious things of mold is you can see if the chicken or duck or this kind of same thing of the poultry, if they have mold, they usually will have a very big crop here, a very big crop here. And this very big crop is due to this kind of things is inflammation. And once the inflammation, the food cannot easily to pass through here. So here will become bigger and bigger and big. And this kind of big things sometimes will cause your death because they will stop your breathing. If they are in stop the respiratory tract and get into trouble, and then you will not easy to breathing. Yes. So be careful about all these kind of things. Did I answer your question? I dare not to answer the question again on the mycotoxin because mycotoxin is another big thing. Okay, mycotoxin sometimes is easy because it's you usually if you can using the bender, mycotoxin bender, and then you can solve the problem.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chat is not there. Chat.
Thank you. Yes.
No, I'm not asking you to thanks me. I ask you to ask a question.
My question is like once we identify some minerals or vitamin problem on animal, then after we supplement them those mineral or vitamin, can the body shape or organ will be repair or be in the original shape inside?
Yes or no? Yes is mean if you provide them long enough, they will recover. But if you say you do not provide them long enough, they cannot easily to recover. For example, the pet damage, the food pet damage, and then you need time to recover. Okay, but don't forget, economical animal, if you have any damage, you want them recover. That is mean this kind of period of time is a waste of your money. For example, chicken. If all the chicken is go to the market and only several of them cannot go to the market, and then you will get trouble. And if all the chicken have trouble, and then you will lose the money. Okay, so sometimes it's not easy to say yes or no, but yes, if you provide them enough things, you can stop them. Stop this kind of syndrome happen. But I have to tell you one thing. When I was young, I always tell the farmer, say, you can do this. This maybe will help you a lot. But today I will not say that. I will say, you have to do that. No any excuse. Because if you have any excuse, that means you will lose money. Okay? For example, in the old time, we are not encourage people 100% to support the wet pad and forced ventilation system because it needs money. But today, every time if I go with the government people to outside, I always say, please install your wet pad and forced ventilation. Do you know why? It's not because we can cool animal only. The problem is if you have a wet pad and a forced ventilation system, you can stop the smell. And the smell can only go one side. The three sides is no smell, and only one side. And then you can filter out the smell. And then you can stop a lot of problem. Okay? And the government now is getting very serious. It's not because of government, it's because of people. People always complain. Okay? If you do not wash your legs, your feet, and you went back to your dormitory, and then your roommate will complain about the smell. Is that right? The same thing happened in the outside. If your chicken house or cattle house or pig house is not good smell, everyone is complaining. This is not easy happen in American, but this is very easy happen in Taiwan or Vietnam or Philippines because our land is small. Of course, we compare with Indonesia, they are big land, but if they are in Java, they still will have some problem because they are too cloudy there. Once you are too crowded, people will complain, say your smell cause big trouble. So no any excuse. Sorry about that. Your question is, we can do this, but if sometimes it's not necessary to do it 100% due to the money or due to something else. But nowadays, sometimes you cannot avoid to do all these kind of things to avoid the trouble of the mineral deficiency or something else. In advance, it's not afterwards. Afterwards is too late. If you cannot pass examination, and if you come to me to ask, say, can I help you to pass examination? It's already too late. Is that right? Okay, and my daughter said, don't let the people pass examination if they do not pass, because they will sue you to the university, say you are cheating. the professor is cheating. And why is it cheating? It's because you already failed them, and how can you let them pass again? So you are cheating. Okay, so in advance is more better. Anything is in advance. Okay, be careful to look after your batch of the broiler, because that is, if have anything happen, then you will get in trouble. It's not necessarily your trouble, but it's anyway, it's a experiment will become disaster. Maybe I'm talking too much. Any other question? Niolita?
Yes, Professor.
Yes.
In one of your slides, you mentioned about the antagonistic interaction of the vitamin A with the other vitamin. In here, you mentioned the vitamin C and B3, and also the mineral is the Fa. Would you please expand again? What is the meaning of the antagonistic interaction here?
Okay. Usually, vitamin A will have interaction with vitamin D. This is the most famous one. Okay, because if you have vitamin D too much, and then the vitamin A cannot easily to be absorption or cannot function well. So in this case, you will find the vitamin A will have big problem. Okay, this is most exciting one. If you go to the business, it's not go to the academic. You go to the business. Almost all the feed formulation people knows if you the AD ratio. Okay, this AD ratio should be based on this one. Okay, so why they are, if over this one, any kind of A over this one or D over this one, they will influence on the other vitamins function. Can you understand what I mean? No? Oh? Why so quiet? If you want evidence, I can show you immediately, because I gave this presentation just several days ago.
Yes, Professor.
I cannot hear from you, Niolita.
So,
Okay.
yes, Professor.
Yes.
So, is it mean if we give too much vitamin A, it can reduce or it can affect another vitamin or mineral
Function, yes.
Oh.
The most exciting one is iron, zinc, and copper. These three, when I was young, we already know if you add too much iron, for example, we provide a lot of iron injection, and then you will cause big trouble for zinc and copper's deficiency. And another thing is, if you add too much iron, and then you will cause vitamin E, big trouble of vitamin E deficiency. Why? Because iron is a stronger oxidation material. Once they are very strong oxidation material, and they will influence on the antioxidation material, for example, vitamin E. Okay, so what happened? Some people give injection of the iron to the first days of the piglets. We have to do that because first days piglets are shortage of iron. Okay, during the first 1 or 2 weeks. So we give them injection of the iron. If too much, and then you will see the piglets died immediately. Okay, I'm lucky. I went to one pig farm. They told me, say, the piglets is died due to the iron injection. They asked me why. I'm so exciting because, sorry about that. This is a poor professor, always exciting about this kind of thing. So I went to see, and then I said, all the pigs, whole litter is died due to the iron poison because they are influence on the vitamin E, and the vitamin E will influence on the heart disease. I said before, and the heart will influence on the immediate diet of the animal. So this is all have a relation to each other. And some goes very slowly, and some goes very fast. So be careful, don't too much or too little. And you know, Chinese have another name called 差不多. 差不多 is mean it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Every time we Chinese say it's okay, it's okay, no problem, okay. Now, everything is okay, and then you will get big trouble. Sorry, I'm not insult our Chinese. I'm just say this is quite common things. Any questions, comments, or suggestion? Professor Wantamas, do you have any comments, suggestion, or question?
Yes. Thank you, Professor Hsia. How to observe that our animal start cause the vitamin deficiency? Because anytime when we figure out it's almost serious.
How to observation?
Yeah.
Of course, we can observe from the many way. For example, pantothenic acid, we always say they have good stepping. Okay, that is a very easy one. And the other things, if you found that your animal is always have respiratory disease or GI tract disease, no any other syndrome, and then you will have to be careful whether they have this kind of vitamin B deficiency, because B deficiency always influence on the epithelium of the respiratory GI tract or the reproduction tract. Epithelium. Okay, epithelium is the surface cell of the all this kind of tube. Okay, so if you have anything like this way, and for human being and for animal is the same. Another one thing is quite common, that is if you have abnormal behavior. Okay, for example, human being have depression. If we are depressing, and then we'll find we are shortage of vitamin B group. And if the animal are shortage of B group, they will have this kind of depression. And their depression sometimes, for example, they will have tail biting or feather pecking. Okay, this is a very interesting part. Just last week, Chet and the lady, they found one of the chicken is pick up other chicken's feather. Check, is that right? You didn't see that?
Yes.
Yeah, you see that. That is a very interesting one. Why? Because the first day, the Miss Lee is a small Lee. We have two Lee. One is at the moment have older Lee and the younger Lee. This younger Lee told me, said, why this chicken is have a feather pecking in here? Okay, in nearby this area. I thought, my goodness, he cannot pack up by himself like this way. It's not easy. Okay, so I said, no, it's picked up by the other chickens. But I have no evidence, so I cannot say anything. The second day, they make a record to me, send a record to me. I'm really very exciting about this record. This record is picking by the neighbor. Okay, so they put a wall in between these two. And in this kind of situation, you will find that they are maybe shortage of some kind of vitamin B group. And why? Because B group is not only epithelial, but also protects the outside of the nervous system. Okay, any kind of nervous system outside is damaged. Okay, and then you will become very sensitive. Okay, any kind of animal is the same. And why the vitamin E is also the case? It's because this kind of things is damaged outside, or say vitamin E can antioxidation. Antioxidation, they can protect this outside. Okay, we call it Hsia. And so in this case, if you are shortage of vitamin C, and the nervous system will attacked from the outside by some kind of other things. And once your nervous system attacked by the other things, you will become very nervous. You will become very depression. You will become very unhappy or something like that. I mean, the chicken or pigs. That is why I said, if you saw the animal is not happy enough, and then you have to be careful. And you say, how can I'm not a chicken, I'm not a pig? How can I say I see they are happy or not? You see they are depressing. They are always knock their head. They are always doing something continuous. We call the stereotypic behavior. And then you know they are shortage of vitamin B group. You don't believe me, is that right? Any other question or comments or suggestion?
Yes, I have another question about the symptom. How to identify the animal symptom between vitamin deficiency and the parasite?
Okay, very good one. Basically speaking, the parasite, you always will find they become itch. Okay, and once they become very itch and use their legs or use their something else, use their nose to touch them or how to call that, move on the wall, and then you can see most in this case is due to the parasite. But if it's not like this way, and they didn't feel anything, and or a little bit itch, and then that will be due to the mineral or vitamin C deficiency. I cannot say 100%, but this is can easily to distinguish. I'm not say 100%. Okay, I'm not animal, so I don't know the animal's feeling, 100% feeling, but I can see this is these things we can distinguish a little bit. Chet, did you ask a question today?
Yes.
So any question? Sometimes the feather is also, if feather is too rough, we call the rough feather, and then we may have to notice, is it due to the other chicken or due to the deficiency of something? But if too young, we need to know whether the hen, Hen, the hen have some deficiency of the mineral or vitamin. In the breeding company, it's not here. It's not our place. It's out in the breeding company. Maybe they will have this kind of problem. Okay. Last time we went to the deer farm. We went to the goat farm. And actually, first time I visited the goat farm, you can ask Susu. Susu is not here. Susu, oh, he's maybe very busy today.
I'm here.
You are there? Where? Oh, you are there. Okay. We went to the goat farm first time, and I said, my goodness, why we need to buy the goat from this farm? And then Susu asked me why. I said, it's not too much cough. COUGH, cough. Okay. But unfortunately, we have no choice. So we went to another house. Okay. And when we went to another house, the other house have no enough cough. But that is not mean they have no cough. Okay, that is not mean they do not have cough. But serious thing happened. I heard Israel complain about the 2 goat is dead, passed away. 2 is no problem. 2 is still not influence on his experiment. But and then I asked Susu is asked him say, where does this goat come from? He said it's both, all of them come from that farm. So you can see sometimes small syndrome will cause we cannot see anything on the second house, you know, but the second house the goat still died. Let us see they are passed away. So this is sometimes I feel a little bit sad. That Susu told me, said if we want to buy another goat, don't buy from these farms. I say yes, ladies. We usually say yes, sir, but this situation, I should say yes, lady. I'm not quite sure whether she's a lady or not. It's lady or girls. She's not laughing, so I dare not to challenge with her. Okay, so this is a problem. It's really a problem. Okay, we will buy from the other farm next time. Any other question, comments, or suggestion? Majuki, any other suggestion or comments or question?
No, thanks.
Okay, I'm always ask everyone. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, okay, okay. So if not, we have to say good night. Otherwise, student always said I'm always delayed or this kind of seminar. Okay, good night.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. See you next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Who is the next speaker?
Me.
Okay. 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 Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Good
Bye
night.
bye. Good night.
Okay.
Okay.
Chào con Vicky.